In the vacuum of space, a lone probe sailed past the heliopause, the outermost edge of our solar system. It bore a message etched into its skin, a testament to humanity's audacity. "We are waiting for you." It was 2157, and Earth had just declared itself ready to join the galactic stage. Centuries passed. Earth and her colonies evolved. The scars of ancient environmental wounds were now smothered by sprawling greenery, and the remnants of wars long ended were repurposed into monuments of peace. The human spirit had not just survived, it thrived, reaching out to the Moon, Mars, and the asteroid belt, a network of unity, the Solar Confederacy, with Earth at its heart. On Pluto, the forgotten outpost, sensors quietly hummed until they didn't. An anomaly shattered the silence. A cavalcade of ships with technology light-years beyond human comprehension. Their arrival was not heralded by fanfare, but by a cold, calculated silence. The message humanity had sent was being answered in a language of impending conflict. Alerts echoed through space. The Solar Confederacy, a government built on the principles of mutual protection and progress, sprang into action. Fleets were mobilized, soldiers summoned from their lives amongst the stars. Each knew the gravity of what approached, yet fear was a stranger to them. Instead, there was a steadiness, an unspoken resolve that rippled through the ranks. Humanity had extended a hand into the abyss, and now something was reaching back. Admiral Lena Michaud stood at the helm of the Defiant, Earth's proudest vessel, her eyes fixed on the void. The fleet that approached was formidable, an armada that had crossed the galaxy with a clear purpose. Yet there had been no communication, no demands, no diplomatic overtures, only silence. Her comlink crackled to life. "Admiral, we've attempted to hail them across all frequencies. There's no response." Lena's voice was calm, yet it carried the weight of impending destiny. "Keep trying, and signal the fleet defensive formations. We're not the aggressors here." Humanity's wait was over, but so too was the silence. The probe, once a beacon of hope, drifted in the abyss, its message now a harbinger of the storm to come. As the first alien ships crossed Neptune's orbit, they met a wall of resolve, the best and bravest Earth had to offer. The battle for Neptune's orbit was swift, fierce, and unexpected. Human ships danced between the giant planet and its moons, using gravity to their advantage. The aliens had technology, but humans had home field advantage and a history of war that had bred cunning and bravery into their bones. As the last of the alien vanguard spiraled into Neptune's blue gas, humanity had won the first skirmish. But the war was just beginning. There would be losses, and the path to peace was obscured by the fog of war. Yet in this moment, humanity stood united, their message clear: we were waiting, and we are ready. As Neptune's orbit cleared of debris, a heavy silence settled over the command deck of the Defiant. The victory, though significant, was a harbinger of darker days to come. Admiral Michaud's gaze was unyielding as she reviewed the reports. Minimal casualties, but significant drain on ammunition and energy reserves. "Ma'am, they're testing our defenses," her chief strategist, Commander Annika Patel, concluded. "Their first wave was a probe. Their real strength lies in wait." Michaud nodded, her mind racing through scenarios. "Then we won't give them what they expect. Prepare to dispatch repair crews and salvage operations. We'll use every piece of their technology against them." Earth's response was immediate. Every resource was channeled into fortifying the Solar Confederacy's defenses. Scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to reverse engineer the alien tech salvaged from the skirmish. Meanwhile, news of the victory and the looming threat sparked a fervor across human colonies. Civilians enlisted in droves, willing to defend their homes. Back on Earth, Defense Secretary Jonas Hargrave addressed the United Nations, his voice steady. "We stand on the precipice of a new era. These aliens sought to catch us unawares, to find us disunited. They found us ready. Now we must show them Earth is not just waiting, but willing to fight for our place in this universe." However, Earth's leaders knew that the unknown aliens might possess capabilities beyond human understanding. Diplomatic channels remained open, broadcasting messages of peace and cooperation in 1,000 languages, human and mathematical, hoping for a dialogue. In the shadows of Mars Olympus Mons, Dr. Amelia Voss, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, listened intently to the broadcasts, searching for any sign of reciprocation. "If they speak," she muttered to her team, "we must be ready to listen." The aliens' silence was a language of its own, a taciturn stance that became increasingly ominous as their fleet regrouped beyond Pluto. Satellites and long-range sensors tracked their movements, broadcasting haunting images of the alien ships, sleek, dark, and utterly silent. The Solar Confederacy's military network buzzed with activity. Transports ferried soldiers and material between moons and stations. Combat drills ran ceaselessly, and the people of Earth watched the skies with a mix of fear and determination. Admiral Michaud stood before her battle-worn crew, her words resolute. "They expected us to crumble, to scatter into the dark. Instead, we stand united, stronger than ever. They have breached the quiet of our solar system, but we will breach the quiet of their intentions. We will not falter." Captain Elena Mora watched the starfield from the bridge of the dreadnought Perseverance, a ship as much a symbol of human will as it was a vessel of war. The aftermath of Neptune's battle had lit a fire in the hearts of her crew, a shared, unspoken vow that they would not go gently. "The Perseverance has been ordered to join the offensive line," her XO, Commander Diaz, reported. Elena acknowledged with a curt nod, her mind already sifting through tactics and maneuvers. The Perseverance was to spearhead a surprise attack on what intel suggested was an alien command ship, a behemoth that hung silent amongst the fleet, like a spider at the center of a cosmic web. As the Perseverance made its silent trek through the darkness, cloaked by the shadow of Jupiter's moons, Elena couldn't help but feel the weight of history upon them. Earth's finest warships, names like Odyssey, Resilience, and Herald, were under her lead, a fleet stitched together by purpose. Her crew was a tapestry of Earth's diversity, people who had left behind everything to stand against the unknown. Among them was Lieutenant Hiro Tanaka, a young pilot whose skills with a fighter craft were unmatched. He would play a crucial role in the coming engagement, weaving through enemy lines to provide the opening they needed. The battle plan was audacious: slip past the alien sentinels, launch a full-scale barrage on the command ship, and withdraw before reinforcements could encircle them. It was a hit-and-run tactic, designed to sow chaos in the alien ranks and to show that humanity would not be cowed. As they neared the target, the tension aboard the Perseverance was palpable. Every soul aboard knew the stakes. They were not just soldiers. They were the sentinels of human civilization, protectors of Earth's legacy. Elena gave the order, and the fleet erupted into a symphony of light and destruction. Plasma charges and kinetic projectiles tore through the void, a barrage of human defiance aimed at the alien Leviathan. The command ship's shields flared under the onslaught, and through the melee, Hero's squadron pierced the defensive screen, delivering precise strikes to its vulnerabilities. Elena watched as the alien ship's return fire lessened, its attention turned inwards, scrambling to address the damage. "Direct hit!" Hero's voice crackled over the comm, his fighter slipping back into formation. "Their shield is down!" Elena seized the moment. "All ships, concentrate fire on the breach. This is our chance." The alien ship, a titan among the stars, shuddered under the relentless assault. For a brief moment, humanity's collective breath caught as the alien ship's core erupted, illuminating the darkness. As the light dimmed, the human fleet vanished behind the moons of Jupiter, their message clear: humanity would take the fight to their doorstep. The Red Planet had always been a beacon of human ambition, and now it stood as a bastion in a time of war. Mars's skies, once filled with the buzz of trade shuttles and mining vessels, were now streaked with the contrails of fighter patrols and transport ships carrying war supplies. Dr. Theo Jansen made his way through the crowded halls of the Olympus Medical Facility, the largest such center on Mars, repurposed to treat the growing number of casualties from the front lines. The wounded from Neptune's skirmish were the latest arrivals, each bearing the scars of humanity's first victory. Among them was an entity the likes of which Theo had never seen. An alien survivor, barely clinging to life, had been retrieved from the debris. The being was encased in a suit that seemed to be as much organic as it was technological, with life support systems unintelligible to human engineers. With the High Command's blessing, Theo was granted permission to attempt communication. The alien's physiology was baffling, its biochemistry a riddle, but the challenge only fueled Theo's determination. Night after night he worked, trying to establish a dialogue, seeking a bridge between species. Meanwhile, Mars's defense cannons thundered in the distance, a grim reminder of the ongoing war. The planet had become a fortress, with every civilian now a soldier in spirit, contributing to the war effort. In a makeshift lab, Theo sat across from the alien, a transparent barrier between them. He started with mathematics, the universal language, projecting sequences of prime numbers and geometric shapes onto the screen, watching the alien for any sign of comprehension. Days passed with no breakthrough, until the alien stirred, its body language conveying a sense of urgency. It manipulated its own console, and a stream of symbols appeared on the screen. Theo's pulse quickened. This was it, the moment of true contact. The alien's message was fragmented, its language complex, but as Theo deciphered the symbols, a narrative began to emerge, not of conquest, but of desperation. The alien spoke of a dying homeworld, of a people searching for salvation, and of Earth as a beacon of hope. The vastness of space holds many secrets, and one such mystery presented itself to humanity amidst the turmoil of war. A derelict alien vessel, ancient and adrift, was detected in the void between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, a silent testament to the complexities of the universe that humanity was only beginning to understand. Lieutenant Commander Rajiv Singh, aboard the reconnaissance ship Venturer, was tasked with leading an exploration team to the vessel. Unlike the sleek, menacing ships of the alien armada, this one was different. Its hull bore the scars of time, and its design was unlike any technology known to humanity or seen in the current conflict. As Rajiv and his team docked with the silent hulk, they found themselves within an alien architecture that seemed to predate the stars themselves. Corridors stretched into darkness, lined with dust that might have been centuries old. The ship was a puzzle, its chambers filled with artifacts and ancient machinery that whispered secrets of a long-forgotten civilization. Among the relics, Rajiv found data crystals that, when activated, projected holographic images of star systems and galaxies, some of which were unknown to human astronomers. The deeper the team ventured, the more they realized that this vessel was not merely a ship, but a library, a repository of knowledge spanning eons. The implications were staggering. This civilization had charted the cosmos in ways humanity had only dreamed of. Rajiv's team came upon a central chamber where they found the ship's core, a device humming with energy, seemingly powering the dormant vessel. It was surrounded by inscriptions that depicted a narrative of exploration, of a civilization seeking not conquest, but knowledge. Among the inscriptions, Rajiv discovered a section that seemed to detail interactions with other species, including representations that bore a striking resemblance to the aliens humanity was now at war with. These encounters were depicted not as battles, but as exchanges of ideas and culture, a stark contrast to the present. As Rajiv documented his findings, the importance of the discovery weighed heavily on him. This ship offered not just technological insights, but a perspective on the alien species that humanity had not considered. In their rush to defend themselves, had humans overlooked the possibility of peaceful coexistence? The potential for this ancient ship to alter the course of the war was immense. If the technologies and histories contained within could be understood, they might offer a way to communicate with the alien armada, to find common ground. Rajiv transmitted his preliminary findings back to Earth, the data crystal's images casting light on the faces of those who watched, a beacon of hope that in the silent void between the stars, understanding and peace might still be possible. With the discovery of the ancient alien vessel, a wave of cautious optimism swept through the Solar Confederacy. Scientists and scholars pored over the data transmitted by Rajiv Singh's team, hoping to unlock secrets that could lead to a peaceful resolution of the conflict. However, the alien armada, seemingly unaware or indifferent to the derelict's discovery, began a massive offensive. Their ships, appearing suddenly from the outer reaches of the solar system, launched coordinated strikes against human outposts on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. It was a clear message. The aliens were not yet ready for peace. Admiral Ayodele Okoro, overseeing the defense network from Saturn's moon Titan, recognized the gravity of the situation. The aliens were pressing hard, attempting to break the human spirit through sheer force. But Okoro had a plan, one that relied on human ingenuity and the unpredictable nature of guerrilla warfare. As the alien ships closed in, Okoro initiated a series of hit-and-run attacks using small, maneuverable human crafts. These skirmishes were designed to harass the alien fleet, slowing their advance and sapping their resources. Meanwhile, a more significant operation was in the works. In a daring move, Okoro deployed a fleet of unmanned drones equipped with the latest human and reverse-engineered alien technology. These drones penetrated deep into enemy lines, targeting supply ships and communication nodes. The objective was clear: isolate the alien fleet from its command structure and sow confusion. The battles that followed were fierce. Human pilots, emboldened by their initial successes, engaged the aliens with renewed vigor. Every skirmish, every encounter was a testament to humanity's resilience and determination to defend their home. On Earth, news of the ongoing battles filled the airwaves. Civilians, once fearful of the alien threat, now found themselves inspired by the bravery of their defenders. Rallies and support drives became common, with communities coming together to send aid to the front lines. Amidst this backdrop of war, Dr. Theo Jansen's efforts to communicate with the alien captive bore fruit. Using insights gained from the ancient vessel, he established a basic form of dialogue. The alien, weakened but cooperative, shared its perspective, revealing a complex web of politics and desperation that had led to the conflict with humanity. This revelation provided a glimmer of hope. If the aliens were not a unified monolith bent on destruction, then perhaps there was room for negotiation, for finding common ground. Armed with this new knowledge, Theo prepared a comprehensive report outlining a strategy for diplomatic outreach. Titan, Saturn's largest moon, had become the linchpin of human defense in the outer solar system. Its vast methane lakes and dense atmosphere provided not only a strategic position, but also essential resources for the war effort. However, its significance made it a prime target for the alien coalition, which initiated a siege that threatened to cut off humanity from crucial supplies. Sergeant Ava Jackson and her squad of Marines were stationed on Titan when the siege began. Ava, a veteran of several skirmishes on the Jovian moons, knew the stakes. The loss of Titan could mean the gradual starvation of Earth's outer defenses, leading to a domino effect that would spell disaster for the entire solar confederacy. The initial alien assault was swift and brutal. Dozens of ships descended upon Titan, their weapons carving into the moon's surface, seeking to destroy the refineries and capture the docks. Ava and her squad, part of Titan's rapid response force, were deployed to repel the invaders at one of the primary processing plants. The battle for Titan was unlike any fought before. The dense atmosphere and low gravity created unique challenges and opportunities for both sides. Ava's squad utilized their training in maneuver warfare, using jetpacks to leap across the battlefield, engaging the enemy in fierce close-quarters combat. As the siege wore on, it became a war of attrition. The aliens, unable to breach Titan's defenses quickly, established a blockade, attempting to starve the defenders out. However, they underestimated humanity's resolve and ingenuity. Under the cover of Titan's thick methane clouds, a daring plan was hatched by the moon's command. Supplies and reinforcements were smuggled onto Titan through a network of hidden routes beneath the moon's icy crust, a testament to human determination and resourcefulness. Meanwhile, Ava's squad, now seasoned by the continuous fighting, became instrumental in several raids against the alien blockade, striking from the shadows and disappearing before the enemy could retaliate. Each successful raid not only provided much-needed supplies, but also sowed confusion and fear among the alien ranks. The turning point came when human intelligence intercepted communications, indicating a major vulnerability in the alien command ship's defenses. A combined force of Titan's defenders and a squadron of ships from Mars launched a surprise attack, exploiting this weakness. The battle that ensued was fierce, with Ava and her squad leading the charge. As the alien command ship faltered under the onslaught, the blockade around Titan began to crumble, offering a glimmer of hope to the besieged moon. The siege of Titan showcased the resilience and bravery of its defenders, proving that humanity would not yield easily. While the battle was but one of many in the ongoing war, it served as a beacon of hope, a sign that even in the face of overwhelming odds, humanity's spirit and will to fight could turn the tide. In the midst of war's chaos, a flicker of understanding began to emerge, like the first light of dawn after a long, dark night. Dr. Theo Jansen's ongoing dialogues with the alien captive, facilitated by the knowledge unearthed from the ancient derelict, painted a picture of a civilization not unlike humanity's own, fractured, desperate for resources, but also rich in culture and history. Meanwhile, the war continued to rage. Battles flared across the system, from the icy rings of Saturn to the red dust of Mars. Yet amid the violence, a secret assembly of Earth's most esteemed diplomats and scientists convened, driven by the revelations Theo had brought to light. This group, known as the Council for Extraterrestrial Engagement, CT, aimed to explore the possibility of peace, guided by the intelligence gathered from their alien guest. On the front lines, the strategy devised by Admiral Ayodele Okoro had begun to turn the tide. The alien armada, though still formidable, showed signs of strain. Supply lines were disrupted, and isolated fleets were cut off from reinforcement. Humanity's defense, once perceived as a fragile shield, was now an ironclad barrier. Back on Earth, CT worked tirelessly to craft a message of peace, one that acknowledged the shared desperation and struggle of all sentient beings. This message, encoded with mathematical and linguistic keys derived from the ancient ship and the captive's communications, was broadcast into the void, a beacon of hope amidst the storm of war. As days turned into weeks, the solar system braced for the aliens' response. Military actions continued, but with a newfound restraint, as if both sides were holding their breath, waiting for a sign. The sign came at the least expected moment. During a skirmish near Uranus, a small contingent of alien ships disengaged from the conflict, broadcasting a complex series of signals that mirrored the CT's message. It was an olive branch, extended across the battlefield. This gesture did not bring an immediate end to the hostilities, but it opened a channel of communication that had seemed impossible. Secret meetings were arranged in the neutral territory of space, where human and alien diplomats could engage in face-to-face dialogue. The discussions were tense, fraught with mistrust and years of conflict, yet beneath the surface there was a mutual recognition of the need for peace. Admiral Okoro, now acting as a military advisor to CT, emphasized the importance of these talks. "Every moment we spend in dialogue," she remarked to her counterparts, "is a moment we're not at each other's throats. It's a chance to save lives." The negotiations were delicate, with each side laying bare their fears, their needs, and their hopes. Humanity learned of the aliens' home, a world ravaged by environmental collapse and war, their journey across the stars driven by a desperate search for a new beginning. As these truths were shared, the walls of animosity began to crumble, replaced by the cautious foundations of a possible coexistence. The solar system, once a battleground, was slowly transforming into a forum for understanding, a testament to the power of communication and the enduring hope for peace. The fragile peace that had begun to take shape between humanity and the alien coalition was always hanging by a thread. Across the solar system, military engagements had lessened but not ceased, a stark reminder of the war's lingering shadows. Within this tense backdrop, the leaders of the Solar Confederacy devised a bold plan, a final decisive strike aimed at the heart of the alien fleet, hoping to end the conflict once and for all or force a genuine commitment to peace. The centerpiece of this daring strategy was the Herald, a stealth cruiser commanded by Captain Aisha Bhatti. Known for her cunning and bravery, Aisha had been instrumental in several key victories throughout the war. The Herald and its crew were tasked with a mission that would carry them deep into enemy territory, to deploy a newly developed weapon capable of disabling the alien armada's ships without causing loss of life. As the Herald slipped through the void, silent as a shadow, the rest of humanity's forces prepared for a coordinated distraction. Fleets stationed across strategic points in the solar system began maneuvers to draw the aliens' attention, engaging in skirmishes that flared like sparks in the dark. Back on Earth and its colonies, the population watched and waited, the tension palpable in the air. News feeds and broadcasts were filled with updates from the front, each skirmish a brushstroke in the larger canvas of war. Meanwhile, at the diplomatic table, the ceasefire negotiations took on a new urgency. The revelation of the secret mission had not yet reached the alien delegates, but human diplomats were aware that the outcome of Aisha's mission could radically alter the dynamics of the talks. They pushed for a breakthrough, a sign that peace could be achieved without further bloodshed. Aboard the Herald, Aisha and her crew faced the enormity of their task. The weapon they carried, a massive EMP device refined from technology salvaged from the ancient derelict, was untested in combat. The plan was to deploy the device in the heart of the alien fleet, disabling their ships and leaving them adrift, a clear demonstration of humanity's capability and its desire to end the conflict without further loss of life. As the Herald neared its target, cloaked by the darkness of space and the very edge of the alien detection grid, Aisha felt the weight of the moment. This mission could very well decide the fate of humanity and its place among the stars. Success would pave the way for peace and a new beginning. Failure would mean a return to all-out war, with both sides suffering untold losses. The Herald reached its destination, a silent specter among the stars. With a quiet command from Aisha, the device was deployed, its activation a silent scream in the void. The alien fleet, caught unawares, was enveloped in a wave of electromagnetic energy, their ships going dark one by one. In the moments that followed, the solar system held its breath. The Herald, its mission accomplished, turned towards home, leaving behind a message of humanity's resolve and its plea for peace. This audacious gamble by the Solar Confederacy had changed the course of the war, demonstrating not only humanity's technological prowess, but also its desire for peace. The aftermath of the mission would unfold in the diplomatic chambers, where human and alien representatives now faced a new reality, one where dialogue and understanding were the only paths forward. In the aftermath of the Herald's daring mission, the galaxy stood at a precipice. The alien fleet, now adrift and powerless, became a silent testament to humanity's desperation for peace and its ingenuity in warfare. The bold action taken by Captain Aisha Bhatti and her crew had shifted the balance, forcing a moment of reckoning for all involved. On Earth and its colonies, celebrations erupted. The images of the disabled alien fleet spread like wildfire, a symbol of hope and a possible end to the conflict that had consumed countless lives. Yet amidst the jubilation, there was a palpable tension, a collective holding of breath for what would come next. The alien coalition, now faced with their own vulnerability, responded not with threats, but with an unprecedented openness to dialogue. The event had exposed the futility of further conflict, highlighting the need for a lasting resolution that would prevent such a brinkmanship from ever occurring again. The diplomatic negotiations, once a cautious dance around entrenched positions, transformed into earnest discussions about the future. Humanity presented the disabled fleet not as a trophy of war, but as an olive branch, a demonstration of their ability to strike decisively, yet their choice to seek peace. Dr. Theo Jansen, who had been a key figure in understanding the alien captive's perspective, found himself at the heart of these discussions. His insights into the alien culture and the desperation that had driven them to Earth were invaluable in bridging the gap between the two sides. As the talks progressed, a framework for peace began to emerge. The aliens would share their advanced technology for resource management and environmental restoration, addressing the desperation that had led them to Earth. In return, humanity would assist in relocating the alien refugees, offering them a new start within the solar system. The final peace agreement was signed on Mars, a neutral ground and a symbol of humanity's ability to thrive in adversity. The ceremony was broadcast across the galaxy, watched by billions of human and alien eyes alike. The message was clear. From this point forward, the future would be written together. Captain Aisha Bhatti, now hailed as a hero of peace, stood among the delegates as the agreement was signed. Her thoughts, however, were with her crew and the countless others who had fought, suffered, and sacrificed. This peace was their legacy, bought with courage and sealed with hope. The war was over, but its end was not a conclusion. It was a beginning. A new chapter in the story of humanity and its place in the cosmos was starting, filled with the promise of shared knowledge, mutual respect, and the boundless potential of cooperation. The Solar Confederacy, once a beacon of human unity against a common threat, evolved into the Galactic Alliance, a testament to the possibility of peace and the strength found in diversity. The aliens, once adversaries, became neighbors, partners in the grand project of forging a better future for all sentient life. The wait was over. Humanity and its former foes stood at the dawn of a new era, their destinies intertwined, ready to face the challenges of the cosmos together. The final message of the peace agreement resonated across space, a simple yet profound declaration. We were waiting for you. Now we walk together.